let's look at the brutality, violence against the media, media men. And yesterday, the big story, another one, was that 16 NPP thugs arrested for invading UTV were convicted, and they were fined 2,400 Ghana cedis each. So we were told that was 200 penalty points or penalty units times 12 Ghana cedis, so 2,400 Ghana cedis each. And I'll just breeze through the story. They were arrested for attacking the offices of United Television, UTV, on Saturday, 7th October 2023, and they've been convicted and fined 200 penalty points, which amounts to 2,400 Ghana cedis each, by the Achimota Magistrates Court. The men were charged with conspiracy to commit crime and rioting. They pleaded guilty to the charges and were subsequently convicted by the court. And then just a little bit of a background. On the 7th of October, while the station's primetime entertainment show, United Showbiz, was ongoing, the thugs stormed the studio of UTV, disrupted the live program, and proceeded to threaten to assault the host and her guests. It later emerged that the thugs were led by the Clote, a youth organizer of the NPP, allegedly under the orders of Ernest Owusu Bempa, a deputy director of communications, and other leading figures of the ruling party. It goes on to explain the reasons why they're upset and the groups that came out to express their displeasure and strongly speak up against what happened. And then earlier, just last Friday, we had our own Akosia Otre being assaulted when she went to cover something at the NDC headquarters, and people are still speaking about it. UTAG is telling the police that they should arrest the people who did this to Miss Otre. UTAG, in a communique released after its 21st Biennial National Congress on Monday, and they therefore called upon the police to arrest individuals found behind the attack on Akosia Otre, a Citi News journalist, while covering the vetting of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, parliamentary aspirants in the Odo constituency. She was assaulted by alleged NDC thugs on Friday, that's last Friday, while she was diligently performing her professional duties. And the assault took place at the NDC's Greater Accra Regional Office in Southla and resulted in Ms. Otre suffering physical harm and the forcible seizure of her mobile phone. So these are some of the things like here at Citi FM, Citi TV, the Ghana Journalists Association, Ministry of Information, different bodies have come out to condemn the act, and UTAG has added their voice. Now, we don't have much time, but these pockets, I don't even know if I can call them pockets anymore, because now it's becoming rampant. Attacks on the media. What do we have to say about that? I'll start with Larry.
Yeah, I think it's quite very, not quite, but highly condemnable. Because, why? We are doing our work. Okay. Strangely, these are the very people who, when they organize programs and it's not highlighted by the media, they take issues with it. That, oh, the media is not giving us coverage. The media is bought. The media is so and so and so and so. Okay? So, I mean, you had invited a journalist to come and witness whatever is happening there. There's a lot actually happening in Dodo, where, I mean, certain group feel that one individual, a particular individual is not supposed to take part in this vetting because he had defected from the NPP to the NDC, and that it is not yet time for him to even acquire a party card to a point where they said that the party card had been forged, okay, to enable him contest the election, and that he's not eligible to take part. So that is the point where the anger all started, okay, but it is not. Then they started breaking chairs, they started doing this and so on. And then Akosia, I'm told, walked in and started filming and all that. I mean, obviously, you were doing the thing for the...
Exactly.
You were visiting your anger on the chairs and so on. So the journalist is there, filming whatever you are doing, so that she would tell the world that, oh, this is what happened. And she was just there to tell your story for you. But then you got angered again that, oh, she was filming whatever it is that you're doing. If you were doing the right thing, why are you afraid of the camera?
Yeah.
You understand? So, but again, this just happened days after
less than a week.
Less than a week. So it appears nobody is listening to anybody. You could scream. They are not listening because some of these things that we were talking about were meant for people to, to reform their characters and so on. But if upon all that we are doing, people are not seeing the goodness of it, but then they are still doing whatever it is that they are doing, I think that something has to be done. And what is to be done is that if the first group had been severely punished, if they had been severely punished and was as quick as whatever it is, I'm not sure this group also would have done a thing like that. Okay? Now, after a while, they were put before court and they've been, fined. There's confusion.
So it was
It's
200.
2,400 cedis because
Yes.
it's 2,000 penalty, 200 penalty units.
Okay.
Penalty is 12 cedis. So
Okay.
times 200 is
Times
2,400 per person.
Oh, okay.
And they were made to sign a bond of
Good behavior. Okay. Have they written an apology letter to
The court did not instruct that.
They have to.
The court says they should sign a bond of good
You
behavior.
see, for me, these guys, after they've signed this thing, you won't see them again. But you won't see them again.
But the damage has been done.
The damage is already done. Then they could go on the attacks. They could go on to perpetuate this same thing elsewhere. But if the man spends, let's say, a week or two or a month, even in jail, he will come back a different person. Because even your son will ask you, oh, Daddy, where were you for the last month? That in itself is huge. Your pictures splash all over. Suddenly, we can't find their pictures anywhere. Even their names, we can't get it. The organizer, the colleague,
Yes.
yeah, nobody, nobody is mentioning his name. It's only this. I almost called him a gentleman. Osubempa, who
He's been accused of
whose name is out there, and he's denying and so on. But I have it on authority that indeed he was involved. He did a thing. Okay, I mean the bond of good behavior, a fine and all those things and so on. I don't think people really feel it. These guys obviously said they were working in the name, they were doing what they did it in the name of the party. So obviously the party is going to find money and pay.
And cover all.
Oh yeah, and
all the fines.
and even give them allowances. And give them allowances.
Look,
So where are we going with this?
Elvis, we have just 2 minutes. Let me take your thoughts on this. I mean, a lot has been said over the past couple of weeks.
But then the DC group that did a similar thing in Cape Coast, what happened to them?
We don't even
No, we don't know. I mean, the
They were
story has
arrested and
died.
then, See, the point is, journalists must know that everybody pretends to love us, but many people hate us.
Yeah, it's true.
The reason is that, when you do good story for them,
I feel that hate all the time.
yeah, when you do a good story about them, they are happy you are a good journalist. The moment you do a bad story about them, you are the worst journalist.
Yeah.
And when they get you, they will beat you. You understand? That's the way it is. See, if NDC had done a successful vetting and Citi carried the story and the winner was carried shoulder high to be positive, they will be happy. People will be granting interview. Yeah, this is my candidate. He's going to win the next. You understand it? But because they knew what they were doing is bad, and somebody is filming, they decided to attack the person. See, but if the laws of this land, we don't really punish people severely, it's going to be difficult for us to curtail attacks on journalists. Because, see, our work affects the interest of so many people. See, somebody is doing a deal, you go and expose him. Maybe the person expects $1 million profit. Because of your story, the deal doesn't go through. That money is lost. Okay? You go and write a story about some chief. I remember Daily Guide wrote a story about Otunfo. They locked their office in Kumasi for 1 month. Because the young people said they will beat them. They have to run away from Kumasi, their office, for 1 month. You understand? So, our work is such that we bring...
You don't talk about the legal...
The
legal stuff.
Aspect, you understand it, of what the wrongdoing of society. And nobody wants to be exposed for doing the wrong thing. So journalists, really, we are target of this. In fact, a sports journalist who has followed the Black Stars to America to go and cover their football match, He has reported the U.S. police that security man of the Black Stars, GFA, has beaten him in the U.S. Ghanaian journalist, in the U.S. too. We have taken it to the U.S. GFA is
and
security
now we
man.
are no man's
He has caught him in the U.S. and has beaten him in the U.S. And now he has. This is just yesterday's issue that has come up. You understand it? So I think that we need to see when you compare the way attackers of journalists are punished and attackers of other issues are punished, you see that there's a difference. Look at Muntie 3. They didn't physically assault anybody. They sat on radio and issued word of mouth threat. How many months were they jailed?
I think 3.
And what was the penalty imposed on them? Each of them was to pay 10,000, and then they still went to jail because it's a judge.
Yeah, it's a court.
It's a court. It's a judge. It's the chief justice. It's theirs. So as it's about a journalist, it's 2,400. Go home. I remember policemen attacked a pregnant Ghanaian Times reporter. It is the same 2,400 penalty the court imposed on the police. And pregnant lady beaten by police, 2,400 cedis. So clearly, if the state does not take that position that we are going to make sure that anybody who attacks media is given a hefty punishment, this attack on us will continue because I can tell you, our friends are few, our enemies are many, because a lot of the things we do put people on the spot. Do you think that the criticism we give the president here, do you think that the NPP people are happy?
Of course.
That you are accusing the sitting president that the statement shouldn't have been made at that point. If they get in the corner somewhere, they will give it to you. So I think that the way journalists are attacked in this country, but see, we are the only people, the hope of this country. I always tell people, see, in any country where people run to the media quickly for complaint, it's a symptom of a failure of all state institutions like the police and all that. So in a country like Ghana, where you see everybody are calling the phone, media, they will say, we have this problem. The media will go and report. The authorities will go and do their work. This is not a group of people that anybody in this country should be allowed to attack. Because the people who are being paid by taxpayers' money are failing their duties. Those of us who are not being paid by taxpayers' money, we are making sure that those people come to do their job. If they have to attack, they should attack those people who are being paid by taxpayers' money for not doing their job. Not us who are not paid by taxpayers' money, finding our own money.
Let's be careful not to incite anybody to attack.
No, I'm not saying that they go and beat them. What I'm saying is that if they have concerns, if they have problems, if they think that something is wrong, it is those people who are paid by taxpayers' money that they should be taking their anger to. We are not paid by taxpayers' money. We look for our own money to do our work. And our work largely is about, government has done this. These people say they have some problem with water. They have problem. Are you the one who gave us the money to come and cover your problems? No. But we do it because we feel it's our job to do. And we go and do all these sacrifices for the public so that the state institutions will come and solve your problem for you. And when you think that you have a problem with a journalist, the best you can do is that you go and attack the person. It is the law of Ghana doesn't allow that. You can only report to media commission if a media house does something you are not happy, or you go to court and sue. These are the two avenues left for anybody to agree with the work of the media. You don't have the right to invade anybody's studio. You don't have the right to beat anybody because the person is filming your stupid, excuse me, I don't want to use the word, your violence or whatever it is. It's something that I think that as journalists we need to be, we have to make this issue a national issue by taking on the police, taking on the security, the courts and everybody. Because if people invade somebody's studio, I read the story, and there was no charge of assault. The charge was that unapproved entry of somebody's property. And I'm like, is it the only charge the police could prefer against?
We need to.
We
need to go.
But they'll prefer that charge so that the punishment.
You don't want the story to.
No, you see the problem we're having. Yeah. They are preferring those smaller charges so that the people will be fine. But I am in my building. And somebody comes and invade my program, and the only charge you prefer against the person is unapproved entry. Yeah. Unapproved entry is the only charge you prefer.
It's a break-in.
So if you go to the court, the judge will say, okay, if it's unapproved entry, this is what is prescribed by law. So the judge's hand is tied. He's not the investigator, not the one who prepared the charges. But then we'll be insulting the judges because we think that but it is the investigators and the police who did the investigation will be asking that if somebody should enter my house, my house, somebody comes to enter my house and comes to threaten me or threaten any member of my house, the only charge is unapproved entry. Is the only charge. Is that the only charge? I think we should begin to take on this. We should begin to let analysis of the charges preferred against some of these issues and point out the police.
But did you even know that? You and I didn't know they were putting them before court.
No, I think they didn't were put before court. I think it was even
it wasn't
Monday.
announced.
Yes, it wasn't announced.
It was police who came to post.
Last we heard they were arrested.
Yes.
And
then that was the end.
That was the end.
And
then we hear that.
We hear that, oh,
Yeah.
they've
We
been
didn't even know
taken
they
to
were
court.
taken to
No,
court.
because they didn't want you to come and write it.
You get
They want Larry to.
We haven't seen their faces.
So
in
we
court.
need to end. We need to end the
haven't seen their faces
segment.
in court.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, this has been the News Review segment on Breakfast Daily. I've had here with me Larry Dogbe, editor of the Herald newspaper, and Elvis Darko, editor of the Finder newspaper and newscenter.com.